MIG spatter has at least 8 common causes, but even many experienced welders only know 2 or 3. Today, let's go through all of them. First, shielding gas composition has a direct and significant effect on spatter. In MIG welding, the most common shielding gas is a mixture of argon and carbon dioxide. The more carbon dioxide in the mix, the more oxidizing the gas becomes, making the arc less stable and increasing spatter. A higher percentage of argon produces a smoother, more stable arc with much less spatter. Second, spatter is closely related to the metal transfer mode. Different current ranges produce different transfer modes. For example, 1mm wire below 180 amps is short circuit transfer with relatively low spatter. 180 to 230 amps is the globular transfer range where spatter is at its worst. Above 230, spray transfer begins and spatter drops. So choose your welding current based on the wire diameter and avoid staying in the globular transfer range for long periods. Current and voltage also need to match. If the voltage is too low, the arc becomes too short and the wire keeps short circuiting into the weld pool, creating excessive spatter. If the voltage is too high, the arc becomes too long, increasing arc pressure on the droplet and making metal transfer unstable. The best approach is to fine-tune the voltage after setting the current, or simply use a synergic mode if your machine has one. A smooth, consistent, sizzling arc with no loud popping usually means the settings are well matched. Another parameter that many people overlook is inductance. If the inductance is too high, current rises too slowly, the arc becomes harsh, and large droplets of spatter can form. The weld bead also tends to become narrower. If the inductance is too low, current rises too quickly during short circuits, causing violent current spikes, excessive spatter, and sometimes explosive wire burn back. The goal is to adjust the inductance until the arc sounds smooth while producing the least amount of spatter without sacrificing penetration. Stick out length also affects spatter. A typical recommendation is 10 to 15 millimeter depending on wire size and the welding process. If the stick out length is too long, the exposed wire is preheated by electrical resistance before reaching the arc. This overheats the wire, makes wire feeding less stable, and disrupts metal transfer, resulting in more spatter and sometimes arc instability. Torch angle is another important factor. If the torch is tilted too much, such as around 45 degrees, the shielding gas is blown away from the weld pool. At the same time, the side force from the gas flow disturbs the molten pool, increasing spatter and making the weld bead less consistent. In practice, it is best to keep the work angle between 75 degrees and 90 degrees, while the push or drag angle should generally stay within 15 degrees. Dirty base metal is another major cause of spatter, oil, rust, moisture, paint, and mill scale, all vaporize under the heat of the arc, creating gas bubbles inside the molten pool. When those bubbles burst, they eject molten metal and create spatter. Always clean at least 20 millimeter around the weld area before welding. Finally, wire quality also matters. If the wire is rusty, oxidized, or has absorbed moisture, it generates more gas during welding, which increases explosive spatter. Or unstable wire feeding can also cause problems. A kinked liner, worn contact tip, or partially blocked contact tip can all create inconsistent wire feed. Use high quality welding wire. Keep it sealed when not in use, and for aluminum wire, it is best to store it in a humidity controlled cabinet. As you can see, excessive MIG spatter is rarely caused by just one thing. It is usually the result of several factors working together. To reduce spatter, check your shielding gas, metal transfer mode, current and voltage settings, inductance stick out, torch angle, material cleanliness, and wire quality. That is all. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to like and follow.